Are you starting to notice that the self-improvement content today has gotten loud and arrogant? Everybody's a guru. Everybody's a high-value something. Everybody's convinced that they've cracked the code on life, and they'll explain it to you in 12 minutes and 37 seconds for free. But they get monetized. But they don't tell you that. But here's the truth that nobody wants to say out loud. A lot of self-improvement content today is built on ego, not on growth. If you watch self-improvement content, put this in full screen, watch to the end, because this is something that you need to be aware of when you watch that stuff. If you know me, you might think, Jaden, you do self-improvement content. What do you mean that there's a problem with it? The world's version of self-improvement is the problem. Yes, I do self-improvement content, but I do it with God. And that makes the biggest difference. Number one, they're not humble and they have a massive ego. God opposes the proud, but gives grace to the humble. James 4:6. Many creators preach humility while subtly fixating on their lifestyle. Almost like a video resume, a spiritual resume. They talk like they ascended to a higher plane. And I'm not saying talking down to someone for them to wake up and realize that they gotta do something is wrong. Because sometimes I do tell you, wake up, get off the couch. I do tell you guys that. I'm not saying that's wrong. What I'm saying is they'll play it off like they're the best. Like, follow me and you'll become good too, but you're not gonna be as good as me. Which that itself is all wrong based on biblical truth. The Bible gives us a perfect picture of what pride looks like. King Nebuchadnezzar in Daniel 4, he walked on his balcony and said, "Look at this great Babylon I have built." And God humbled him instantly. Self-improvement without humility becomes self-destruction. Real growth is quiet. I told you in the Embrace Your Winter Arc video that when you go into your cave, you become isolated so that you can talk to God and He can talk back to you without any distractions. I don't say isolate with your family or your wife or your real good friends. I'm saying isolate yourself from those people that don't really need to be in your life. Those things that don't need to be in your life. Go on the dopamine detox. Take away that dopamine from your phone. Replace the phone with Bible time. Get that morning routine on point. Real growth is quiet. You don't need an applause. Thinking they're great and better than everyone else. Romans 12:3 says, "Do not think of yourself more highly than you ought." The Bible actually preaches, think of people better than yourself. Even the poor guy down the street, he's better than you. The guy with more money, he's better than you. The guy that's in the same situation as you, financially, relationship-wise, he's better than you. Everyone is better than you. If the whole world saw everybody is better than themselves, what an amazing world that would be. That'd be a very peaceful and understanding world. A lot of channels today confuse confidence with arrogance. They teach superiority, not maturity. This reminded me of the Pharisee and the tax collector in Luke 18. The Pharisee stood in the temple, bragging about his righteousness. The Pharisee said, "God, I thank you that I'm not like the other men. I'm different. Thank you. I'm unique. I'm special. You see me as better." Meanwhile, the tax collector simply said, "Lord, have mercy on me. Have mercy on me, Lord." Jesus said, "The humble man went home justified, not the proud one." Superiority is not self-improvement. It's insecurity while wearing a crown. It's thinking you're better than everyone, but you're just actually insecure because you're not actually better than everyone. You want to be for selfish reasons, but you'll never be. Thinking they're on self-improvement, but they're just watching videos. This one hits home because I fell into that trap of just watching the content, but not actually putting it into action. Now, using it to learn and then put in action is one thing, but you gotta plan that out. I fell into the trap of where I just watched the content and then forgot about actually doing what it said to do. A lot of people think that they're improving because they're consuming improvement content. But watching a workout isn't actually working out, is it? Watching a sermon isn't obedience. Watching motivation isn't discipline. It's the same trap the Israelites fell into in Ezekiel 33. They loved listening to the prophet speak, but they didn't do anything that he said. God literally told Ezekiel, "They listen to you like someone singing a beautiful song, but they do not put your words into practice." Self-improvement has become entertainment, but inspiration without action is deception. Self-improvement has become something to consume and then put yourself into that place. The illusion of progress. Faith without works is dead, James 2:17 says. Self-help content gives you a dopamine hit. You feel inspired, you feel hopeful, you feel motivated to go on this journey. But inspiration without action becomes addiction. It's like the story of the rich young ruler in Mark 10. He knew the commandments, he knew what Jesus asked, he knew the path to life, but he walked away unchanged because he wouldn't act. Knowledge without obedience is spiritual stagnation. The algorithm rewards ego, not wisdom. Man looks at the outward appearance, but the Lord looks at the heart. The algorithm doesn't reward humility. It rewards shock value, overconfidence, and ego. God chooses the opposite. He chose David, a shepherd boy, ignored by his own father. He chose Gideon, who called himself the weakest in his family. He chose Moses, who said he couldn't speak well. You know what? It was hilarious. I believe it's Exodus 2:17 or something like that, or 22:17. Moses asked, "Pardon your servant, Lord, but I am not good with tongue." And the Lord looked at him and said,
"Who gave humans their mouths? Was it not I, the Lord? I will speak for you. Just open your mouth."
He consistently elevates the humble, not the loudest voice in the room. The internet rewards charisma. God rewards the person's character. I can speak beautifully to this camera and into that mic, and I can be charismatic, but if I don't actually preach the truth and with grace, then I'm leading you astray. And as well, if I'm not putting what I preach into practice for my character, then I'm a hypocrite. Real self-improvement is boring, and that's why it's rare. Real self-improvement takes really a lifetime, and it's not a hard day mindset grind every day. Sometimes it's a 2-hour day of work, and the rest of the day is just you relaxing, but not indulging in those dopamine traps. Real self-improvement is boring. It feels boring sometimes, and that's why it's rare to see. Self-improvement also means cutting out those high stimulating things so that work becomes fun compared to looking at the wall and doing nothing. Work becomes actually productive and fun. Productivity becomes fun to you because you have nothing better to do. Whoever is faithful with little will be faithful with much. Luke 16:10. Real growth isn't glamorous. Real growth is repetitive. It's quiet and it's unseen. How many times have you heard a self-improvement content creator say, "I cut off all these people, I got into my room, and I started working. I got to the gym and I started putting in the work. I got consistent and I got repetitive. I cut out the things that I didn't need. I didn't need a channel back then because I was on my own self-improvement. It's unseen. Think about Noah. He built an ark for decades with no applause, no likes, no algorithm boosts, no motivation from the algorithm to keep going. Yeah, because he didn't have the algorithm back then. You know what he had? He had a motive. He had the motivation to build the ark because he knew what was coming. Think about Joseph. He grew in prison, not on a platform. He didn't grow with the internet. Think about Jesus. 30 years of obscurity before 3 years of ministry. Real transformation is slow and humble and internal and intrinsic, not extrinsic. Most people get into self-improvement because they want something out of it. They want the money, they want the fame, they want the success, they want the high-value woman. No. Self-improvement sometimes provides those things, yes, but that's not supposed to be the goal. It's supposed to be for intrinsic values, to build your character in Jesus Christ, to build something meaningful, to build something that's above yourself. If you fell into this trap of egotistical self-improvement content, let me tell you beforehand, I'm not the best, but I'll give you this biblical solution. If you want real self-improvement, here's the truth. Stop worshiping personalities. Stop comparing your journey to someone else's highlight reel. Stop thinking watching content is the same as changing your life. Use self-improvement channels as tools, not crutches. And remember, the goal isn't to become better than everyone else. It's not to become better than everyone else. It's to become better than you were just yesterday. That's the kind of growth that lasts. That's the kind of growth that honors God. That's the kind of growth that no algorithm can fake. Most of these small self-improvement channels like mine don't grow because, number one, they're either Bible-based and nobody wants to hear the truth, and or they give real good advice, and advice that nobody else wants to talk about, but it doesn't work out because nobody else is talking about it. You live life once. One singular time. Everybody says, YOLO! Yeah, listen to that. You only live once. Make the right decisions. YOLO is so deceptive. You live life once. One singular time. What are you, yes you behind that screen, what are you going to do about it?